Once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom, there lived a king and queen who were very happy. However, there was one thing they wanted more than anything else: a child. The king and queen prayed every day for a baby, but after many years, they still had no children. One day, the queen finally gave birth to a baby girl. She was a beautiful little princess, and the king and queen were so happy. They named the baby Aurora, and the king invited everyone in the kingdom to come to the castle to celebrate. He invited all the good fairies in the kingdom to bless the princess. The good fairies arrived, each giving Aurora a special gift. One fairy gave her beauty, another gave her grace, and another gave her kindness. Every fairy in the kingdom gave a gift to the princess. But there was one old fairy who had not been invited to the celebration. She was very angry. This old fairy had been forgotten, and because of this, she wanted to punish the king and queen. She was a wicked fairy, and when it was her turn to give her gift, she cursed Aurora. She said, "When Aurora turns 16 years old, she will prick her finger on a spinning wheel and die." The room was filled with gasps of surprise, and everyone was very scared. The king and queen were very sad, and they didn't know what to do. Then, a good fairy who had not yet given her gift stood up. She could not undo the curse, but she could make it a little better. The fairy said, "I cannot stop the curse, but I can change it. Aurora will not die when she pricks her finger on the spinning wheel. Instead, she will fall into a deep sleep, and she will sleep for 100 years. Only a prince's kiss will wake her." Everyone in the kingdom was very sad, but they tried to protect Aurora. The king and queen ordered all the spinning wheels in the kingdom to be destroyed. They didn't want anything to hurt their daughter, so they took every spinning wheel away. The king and queen also decided to keep Aurora in the castle, away from any dangers. They wanted to protect her and keep her safe. Aurora grew up to be a beautiful and kind girl. She was loved by everyone. She enjoyed playing in the garden, talking to the animals, and spending time with her parents. But on her 16th birthday, something terrible happened. The king and queen had to leave the castle for a few days, and they left Aurora alone in the castle. Aurora was curious, and she wanted to explore the castle. She walked through the halls and looked at all the rooms. As she was exploring, she came across a tall, old tower that she had never seen before. The door to the tower was old and dusty, but it was open. Aurora walked inside and saw an old woman sitting at a spinning wheel. "Hello," said Aurora. "What are you doing?" "I am spinning thread," said the old woman. Aurora was curious and asked, "What is this machine?" The old woman smiled and said, "This is a spinning wheel. It spins thread from wool." Aurora had never seen a spinning wheel before. She was curious, so she reached out to touch it. The moment she touched the needle on the spinning wheel, she pricked her finger. As soon as she pricked her finger, she fell into a deep sleep. The curse had come true. At that moment, the whole castle began to fall asleep. The servants, the guards, the animals, and even the trees in the garden stopped moving. The entire castle was quiet. The good fairy's spell had made the castle fall into a deep sleep until the time came for the curse to be broken. The years passed, and the story of Princess Aurora's sleep became known throughout the kingdom. Many people heard about the sleeping princess and tried to break the curse. Many princes came to the castle to try and wake her with a kiss, but they all failed. No one could break the curse, and no one could wake Aurora. One day, many years later, a brave prince heard the story of Princess Aurora. He had heard about her beauty and her kindness, and he wanted to try to wake her. The prince was very determined. He knew the castle was hidden by thick magical vines, but he didn't give up. The prince rode through the forest, cutting through the thick vines with his sword. He worked hard, and after a long time, he finally reached the castle. When the prince entered the castle, he saw the beautiful Aurora sleeping in her bed. He walked over to her, and when he looked at her face, he knew she was the one he had been searching for. He bent down and kissed her gently on the lips. The moment he kissed her, Aurora's eyes opened and she woke up. The curse had been broken. Aurora smiled at the prince and he smiled back. The two of them were very happy. The prince helped Aurora stand up and they hugged each other. The magic curse was finally over. At that moment, the king and queen woke up. They had been sleeping for many years, and they were very happy to see their daughter awake. The whole castle woke up too. The servants, the animals, and the trees all woke up and began to move again. The prince and Aurora were very happy to see each other. The prince kissed Aurora again, and they decided to get married. The king and queen were very happy for them, and they gave their blessing. A grand wedding was held in the castle, and everyone in the kingdom came to celebrate. The good fairy who had helped Aurora also came to the wedding, and she was very happy to see the curse broken. Aurora and the prince lived happily ever after. They ruled the kingdom with kindness and love. The kingdom was peaceful, and everyone loved them. The good fairy, who had helped Aurora, was always by their side, watching over them.